Okay, welcome back. We're going to do another crafting with Chris. This time I'm going to show you how I made flowers. And these are the flowers I'm going to show you how I made. These are done at different stages, and I will show you each stage and how I did them. They aren't necessarily exactly what I watched different people doing. I know that um, Lori, shoot, can't remember her name, um, does a flower tutorial, and quite a few other people out there that I've been watching. But anyway, this is one particular type of making a flower. What you do is you use these come on stems and bundles of flowers at the Dollar Tree. It'll be a bunch of these, a bunch this size. There sometimes are 2 or 3 different sizes in the one bunch, which is what I usually like to use because it gives you the different sizes in the flowers. So what you do to start one of these is you just take and pull the flower off the stem, and then you pull the back off of the flower like that, and then you pull the center out. And I just set those aside because I'm going to be using them. And then you do it to another one, a second one. And you do it to a third one. Now this is one of the smaller ones at the top of the branch. So I use that as the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my triple thick and I'm going to put some triple thick on the flower, and I'm just going to take an old paintbrush, but I don't mind if it gets ruined, and I'm just going to spread the triple thick on all the petals. And I'm doing this on a silicone mat so that nothing sticks to the mat. And then I'm just going to take and put it in a container of glitter that I have. And I'm going to dip it face down. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to dip the back. And yes, there is enough glue on the back from when I put it on the front to pick up a little bit of the glitter. So then you have this. It's got glitter on both sides. I just set them aside and I let them dry. Then I take the second one And then I take the smallest one. And then I just let those dry. When they're dry, I take the first large one that I did, put a little dab of hot glue in the middle, put the second layer of large petals down, put another little dot of hot glue in the middle, and put the third petal down. Then from there, on these particular ones, I have been using the centers that came with the flowers because they look good, and it actually works out pretty good. I just cut the stem off of the back, and when you do that, the center is going to come apart from the little frilly guys. Just put a dot of blue in the middle of your flower and put that down. And then another dot of glue in the middle of that. And then that's what you have. Okay, now that is just the flower. On these, they didn't have a center. It was just a little plastic ball. And to me, it wasn't big enough to use on here. Didn't look good. So I got my beads out, and I found some beads that I liked in them. And I just glued a bead in the center of them. And that's all I had to do with these. And these have 4 layers. I used the large one. There were actually 2 different size flowers. The small centerpiece and the next piece was one small flower. And then the back 2 were a large flower. And so I put 2 of the large ones on here and 2 of the small ones. You can do whatever you want. You can make it 2 layers. You can make it 3 layers. You can make it, however many layers that you want. There's no set rule to it. So that's how I made those. And then also I had the orange ones that I made. And I just used a bead for the center. Just picked out beads that I thought looked good. And then after you've got them all glued together like that, and they're all nice and pretty and shiny and sparkly, the next step that I did was I took one of the leaves that were on the stems, and I just pulled it off of the main branch. And then I glued the flower to the leaf. And then in the next video, or later on in this video, I'm going to show you how I made these. These were also made by One Very Happy Bird. And they're very cute and easy to make, and takes this one more step. And then there's one more step after this that you can take it even further. You can actually go anywhere you want with any of these. But the last flower that I made was this. And it's kind of hard to explain how it came apart or came about, but I just kind of got this in my mind when I was working with these petals, and I thought, well, kind of like an iris, or I'm not sure, calla lily, something like that. But anyway, I also had these bunches of stamens, and they come like this. And for that type of flower, you'll notice that there are 6 of the yellow and 1 of the white. And that's the way the flower is. It'll have one different from the rest. So what I did was I took and I bent the white one back because I want to keep that as being white. I took a little bit. What I did was I took the glue and I poured it into a cup. I poured it into this cup, and then I just dipped it in to it. I'm not going to do a bunch right now, so I'll just see if I can do this with just a small, tiny amount. Just kind of work it around in there. And so I dipped it into it so that all of the yellow ones are covered with glue. And then I just kind of took a brush and I just kind of separated them again, made sure that everything was covered with glue or triple thick. And then I took some yellow, very fine glitter, and I dipped it in the very fine glitter. And that's what you come out with. Wait, glue. So that's what you come out with. And then I just push the white one back up there, back into it again. Okay? Then with the petal, you just take some yellow ink, and I use finger daubers, and I just paint the center a little bit yellow. Okay? So it's like that. And then I'm going to just put a tiny bit of glue right around the top edge here. And I'm going to take the brush and I'm just going to kind of spread it. Just along the top edge. Then I fold it in half, not all the way, just so that you can work with it in the cup. And I dip it down in the cup. And this is what I end up with. Okay? Then I just put a little line of glue down the center, bottom center of the petal. I stick the stamen on there and I cup it around a little bit. And then I used some leaves that I had in a drawer that look like this. And they were on a piece of plastic. Let's see, it should be right here. Okay. See, they were on here like this. And they were stuck on there and the plastic was stuck on the back. Well, you can just pull the leaf off the plastic, so you just have the leaf. Did I show you guys that in view? Okay. And then just a little dab of the hot glue. and I placed it behind the flower. Then I take a little piece of floral wrap, floral tape. I start at the top and just go around. And that's how I made that flower. Just really very simple. Now, what I'm going to do with them at this point, I haven't decided yet whether they're going to come in like a group or what. I just don't quite know yet how I'm going to do it. But you can see the sleeves, they're on the back. So whatever I decide to do with this, and I don't know for sure if I like it so that the thing is folded upward or so that it's folded back. I think that makes two different, totally different types of flowers. See, there's with it folded back, and there's with it folded up. So you can kind of do whatever you want with them. Now, this was just a what can I do with all these petals I've got idea. Whether anybody likes it or not, I have no idea, but that's what I did with them. And then when I went to the thrift store this last week, I found this roll of blue, almost denim type material. And it cost $1.79 for this entire roll. And so I thought, well, I'll take it and see what I can do. This is something I shouldn't have started right now, because this is going to go on forever. So anyway, it's going to take it all the way down. So let me just snip this off here. And I'll continue doing it later. Because actually, that is what I want to do. I took a 12-inch piece, piece of fabric, and I frayed both sides of the fabric just by pulling the threads out. And I frayed for approximately 1/4 of an inch on each side. Then I took and I stitched down the middle of the piece of fabric so that it's frayed on both sides, and I just stitched down the middle of the piece of fabric, folded it over, and this is what I got. And I thought that came out kind of cute. The beads are just some beads that I had in my drawer. That's all you have to do is just start pulling. I pull a couple off the end going this way first. That way I can get to these threads easier. And you just take 2 or 3 at a time and you just pull them off. until you get about 1/4 of an inch pulled off. You can only do about 2 or 3 strings at a time. Okay, like that, until you have the amount that you want. Actually, I think I would go just a little bit further than that. But you do that on both sides. And then, like I said, instead of doing the running stitch along one edge, I did the running stitch right down the center. And then I just folded it over and gathered it up. And that's all you have to do. And I think it makes a pretty flower. Now, I will probably be adding something to this before I'm actually done with it or use it for something. I'll be adding a doily to the back, maybe a piece of lace behind this, just a little bit bigger than this or something. But that is a basic flower. So, you know, that's a place to start. What I'm doing right now, that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, is just getting some starts on things so that when I get ready to do let's say an altered box, I have all my flowers all made up. Or if I want to do a tag or something, then I have all the stuff already made up to put on it. So I'm going to end this here. That is how I have been doing my flowers for the last couple of weeks. And I will let it go with that for right now, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.